Okay, so picture this. You're scrolling through your feed, minding your own business when you see the perfect picture for an outdoor adventure. But then reality hits you. What about the weather? You're tired of relying on all these so-called experts with their fancy degrees and high-tech equipment, but you're also tired of getting caught in a sudden downpour without warning, causing you to miss out on the perfect picnic spot, all because you didn't check the weather. So naturally, you whip out your keyboard and you get typing away. So you have this bright idea. You're going to take this open source weather API and you're going to combine it with some click magic in Python. And boom, just like that, you get a nice little weather app that you can run in the terminal from wherever, whenever, as long as, whatever, Python. So naturally, the first thing you got to do before you even get down to coding is print some amazing ASCII art. And if we run this, you can see that it kind of just works. Don't ask me where I got it. I can't tell you. It's top secret. Anyway, the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to hop in and paste in some requirements to make sure that this thing's all working up to speed. We don't want anything breaking, no broken gears here. Naturally, you want to make sure to pip install, all the stuff. So the API we're going to be using returns the data in this format, and these are some of the things that we're going to be using to print everything out. So hold on to that thought. I just wanted you to see what it looks like. Okay, so who are we kidding here, right? We all know how to geocode a location on the 3D pointed surface of the triangular pyramid of the Earth. And no, okay, whatever. These are the things we're going to need. We need the location, which is optional. We need a latitude and longitude, which is also optional. And we want to see how many days we're going to actually get the forecast for, and then our temperature unit. And since this is our only command that we're going to be needing, everything's going to run in this one function. We can go ahead and just add the click command, and then we'll add an option for each of these things. So first I'll add location. We'll make sure that it's required currently, just because I'm in the States and it's easier to do it with zip code and or city or state. We'll add latitude and longitude here, just for those who aren't in the States. It might be a little bit easier to just do it with lat and long. Since you're super smart and you like to plan ahead, we'll go ahead and add forecast days just to make sure that we get to choose how many days we get the weather for. And of course, we should specify the unit just to make sure that we are getting a choice of whether it's Celsius or Fahrenheit. We're going to default to the F because, why not? And just so you can see this stuff working so far, we can add some print statements. And if we go ahead and paste the usual if name equals main, and then we can run the help function and we immediately get something that looks like a regularly performing CLI. Boom, awesome. And if I actually run it with these print statements, you can see what the defaults are. So you can see that if I run it with the location and we observe the printout, we can see that we get all the default information stuff. So we're going to get rid of these print statements. So I'm sorry, I lied. I actually need a geocoding for everything because that's just how it works. So the way we get around this is that the OpenWeatherMap API does already have a geocoding endpoint. We can use this code on the screen here in order to make sure that we have some kind of location data sent in. And then if we don't have latitude or longitude, then what we can do is actually send in our location to that geocoding API to get the latitude and longitude. So either we pass it in as arguments or we get it from here. I'm also going to go ahead and paste in some units that we'll use later for printouts. And with that stuff all set, we can actually go ahead and set our URL. You can change this endpoint as needed. You can actually go to openmeteor.com and their documentation is very straightforward. They have a playground that you can use to actually set the stuff up. But this is where we're getting that data that I showed you earlier. Okay, so I'll move that printout stuff for the ASCII art and just to get our location down here. And it's not because you guys are forgetful or anything, but I'll just show you the JSON again, just so you can see what's going on. We have a few different lists that we're going to join together for the table. It's basically a CSV if you want to think about it that way, for the time and date, or date, weather code, and the temperature, mins and max. And what we can do here is make sure we have an empty list for table data, and we'll go ahead and set how many days we actually have so that we can loop over it. So we're going to do some date time formatting, and we're going to use the weather code that comes back from the data to actually get an icon image in a function that we'll create in a second. So then we'll actually call that function that we haven't made yet, but don't worry about it. It's coming. And we're going to append all that to a list. And then we're going to create that table with that tab thing and print our table. So we have all these different codes and they all line up with a specific kind of weather pattern emoji thing. If you actually want different icons, this is actually where you would swap them out, but we're just going to use emojis for now. And now if we call our weather app, it'll take a second because now it's actually fetching data. And then we have our nice little weather printout and, we kind of know what's going on. Now you can obviously improve on this if you wanted to, if you're an overachiever, if you actually like to do more than actually is required of you, good for you. But for those of us who are, satisfied, we can leave it at this. And then what we can do actually is make an alias for that in your bash RC or something. And that way you can call it forever as if it was a little daemon weather slave. I don't know what that is. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next video. Oh, don't forget to, like, subscribe, comment. Don't be a